story. An accident in the gym 4 years ago almost put paid to her whole career, but she's running at her very best right now, the Australian champion. And then Adrianette Knight of Jamaica, always tough to get in the Jamaican team, just missed out on selection for the Olympic Games last year. Then we have the athlete who just seems to have so much to offer in the sense of her abilities across all events, but this is her main event, 400-meter hurdle. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone 6 times has broken the world record in this event. Looking for something good today. Shamir Little, first race out, as we mentioned, of the season. Over 400-meter hurdles. Not sure what to expect from Shamir. She'll come back in the 400 tomorrow, pretty sharp though, I'm pretty sure. Then in lane 4, we have Sian Salmon from Jamaica. Jamaica with so much strength and depth in this event. She is one of their best. Cassandra Tate of the USA. In lane 3, don't forget the challengers can win the big prize as well. If you're just new to Grand Slam, it doesn't matter if you're a racer or a challenger, you've got the chance. The challengers, though, don't get the best lane draws. So here we've got Naomi van den Broek, the Belgian, who's had a phenomenal year or so. Great indoor season as well. Had a fantastic 2024 and has really pushed herself up into the world rankings. And then on the inside, Anna Hall, one of the best heptathletes in the world, but is a redoubtable 400-meter hurdler as well. She competed in the European circuit a couple of years ago to great effect in this event. Tough lane draw, though, for her in lane 1.
Set.
Clean start. It's all about how fast can Sydney go here. I'm pretty sure already taken a metre or so out of the athletes outside her. Adrianette Knight tends to go off hard, and she's already up on Sarah Carley of Australia into the back straight. Sydney moving well, just keeping that nice lovely rhythm that she has over the barriers. Has put a lot of distance between herself and Shamir Little, and it's pretty even behind her. Anna Hall, though, is going well in lane 1 and has made up a fair bit of ground. Round the top end, or just checking down there, bit of a stutter there from McLaughlin-Levrone, not the smooth style we normally see from her as she changed down. Adrianette Knight trying to stay with her into the home straight, but now the gap starts to widen, the class starts to tell. That's a more beautiful action that we see over these last 2 barriers. Last one taken beautifully, now she could stride for the line. Let's just watch the clock here. It's 52.07, clear win once again for McLaughlin-Levrone. Not convinced it was necessarily one of her best races, but that's because her standards are so high. She's so good. She is still so much better than everybody else. Good scraps going on behind her, and Anna Hall in lane 1 ran very well to come through in 3rd.
Out of lane 1 is tough. With Sydney, I think she responds to pressure. So not much pressure here, and she's so clear of the field that she's not going to have any kind of push from anyone else. So that's all just mentality of her just trying to push herself, which isn't necessarily easy when you're that far in front. But you come out with the win, do what you got to do, and, you know, basically just showing that she's separated herself.
Do you know, I was interested in, when I went for a quick cup of coffee before we came on air, maybe an hour ago, and she was in the car park warming up, not in the warm-up area. She's doing her drills, like, between the buses.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, she looked dead chilled and everything. It was just interesting she took herself away. I should have taken a picture, shouldn't I?
Yeah, so Sydney, like I said, about 5 or 6 meters ahead. And in a situation like this, I mean, you just want to be safe. You don't want to come out here and have an injury trying to go for too much unless it's absolutely necessary. And if there's someone else out here that was going to push her, I'm sure she would try to do that. There was a stutter earlier in the race, which she'll probably talk to her coach about, just to make sure that's clean when it really matters. But very comfortable, jaws relaxed.
And you know, she's still looking for the clock. That always tells me an athlete is thinking, this has gone okay. I mean, 52.07, by anyone else's standard, that would be a phenomenal time to run in May. And for her, though, you know, we expect so much. Maybe we're expecting too much. Maybe she expects that as well.
Yeah, for her, she's probably thinking, considering my effort, what am I putting on the clock? So if I'm around 80% and I'm able to do this, then it's favorable for what I can actually do when I put the pedal to the metal. But obviously, Sydney's in great shape.
I just wonder when she got into that back straight there, you know, there's a bit of a breeze there in the back straight, whether or not that just upset her stride pattern, who knows? We'll find out from her pretty shortly. There you can see she was looking for the clock, looking for the result.
52.07, I'm sure she's pleased with.
And here we can confirm it, 52.07, Knight 54.08. I said Hall ran really well in lane 1, 54.43.
Yep.
This is not her event, really, but she is...
Championship record has been on the books since 2005. It was a dead heat between Kozetskaya and Heshneva in Kaunas, so it's been there 20 years. 55.89. Well, that might be a tall order with these women. Mette Tumba, the existing world under-20 champion, has run close to that. So on the outside, European under-18 silver medalist, Olha Mashanikova. Semi-final winner, European under-18 champion 2 years ago, Alexandra Uta. Rapidly improving Dutch woman, Abigail Noruga. Ran a personal best in Angelo. And we saw Mette Tumba, world under-20 champion. And this woman was really impressive, winning her semi-final in a national, not just under-20, but under-23 record of 57.16. Arabella Wilson was just a fraction away from her personal best in her semi-final, close to the best of 57.49. Petra Lik, second on the European list this year, behind Tumba, and on the inside, Mila Haikonen, best of 57.10 from last year. Haikonen's had a busy day. She was in the 100 metres hurdles heats this morning, made the semi-finals. So Tumba leads the European lists with 56.76, which she did on home soil in Cargé-Pontoise. However, she hasn't looked great in the heats and semi-finals. Tumba has Hambridge, Uta, who's probably her closest rivals, but this is a very evenly matched race. Cleanly away at the first time of asking. Lane 7, Uta flying over the first bend. It's Uta on the outside who's running really well. Also Tumba looking a lot better than she did in semi-finals and the heats. She's up on the shoulder of Noruga. And Tumba now starting to close the gap on Uta in lane 7, but Uta's still in really good shape. Clearly clearing the hurdles. Running well on the inside, Hambridge as well at the moment, but it's between Tumba and Uta. It's the women in lanes 5 and 7. And Tumba now, well, she saved her best for last. It's the Frenchwoman with a metre lead coming into the home straight. She's running really well. Uta, though's a really fast finisher. She's starting to close. She's really attacking. Uta's attacking Tumba. Tumba's running out of steam. It's going to be the Romanian. Well, let's just wait for confirmation of that time, because it's probably a new championship record. Yes, it is. Uta's confirmed. 55.56. She's smashed a record which has been on the books for 20 years. Tumba runs faster than she's ever done before and improves her own French under-20 record to 55.56. And some way distant, but still running better than any other Estonian's done. Bronze goes to Hambridge, 56.71. What a fantastic performance, and just like the men, personal best for the first 4 women home.
Well, there were 2 brilliant races going on there, Phil. Uta with a massive championship record, just out-dipping Tumba, the world under-20 champion. And Hambridge came back at Haikonen brilliantly. Haikonen in lane 1 had the whole crowd on their feet because, yes, whilst Uta was coming back at Tumba, most in the stand were watching Haikonen, hoping that she could hang on for the bronze, but Hambridge just came through to deny the Finn what would have been a wonderful moment.
The 2025 season has already delivered two very different but equally revealing versions of the women's 400 meters and 400-meter hurdles, races that together highlight both modern dominance and the explosive rise of a new generation. When viewed side by side, the contrast between control and chaos, precision and breakthrough, makes this comparison especially compelling. At the Grand Slam track meet in Miami, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone once again redefined what early season form means at the elite level. Her 52.07 run was not just a comfortable victory. It was the fastest 400-meter hurdles time ever recorded before the month of June. What stood out most was not aggression, but restraint. Sydney ran within herself, attacking the race with flawless rhythm and minimal visible strain. Against athletes like Anjanette Knight and Anna Hall, both proven performers with power and range, the gap was not merely physical but conceptual. Sydney races against history and her own standards, not the field. For most athletes, 52.07 would be a season-defining peak. For her, it was clearly a controlled checkpoint on the road toward something bigger later in the year. In sharp contrast, the championship women's 400-meter hurdles final told a story of pressure, emotion, and generational shift. A 20-year-old championship record, 55.89, untouched since 2005, stood as a psychological barrier as much as a numerical one. The field was younger, rawer, and visibly hungry. Pre-race attention centered on Tumba, the reigning World U20 champion and European season leader, whose earlier rounds hinted that her best was still to come. Yet championships are rarely won on paper. From the gun, the race exploded. Alexandra Utz's aggressive start from the outside lanes immediately raised the tempo, forcing everyone else to commit early. Unlike Sydney's measured Miami run, this was a race built on risk. Each hurdle demanded precision under fatigue, and by the final bend, composure mattered more than raw speed. As Tumba found her rhythm late and Ut fought to maintain form, the record, long considered untouchable, fell, symbolizing a full generational handover. Together, these races capture the full spectrum of elite hurdling in 2025. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone represents mastery, calm, calculated, and historically fast without ever appearing desperate. The championship final represents evolution, young athletes pushing limits, breaking records through boldness rather than certainty. One race showed how far the event has come, the other showed how much further it can still go.